Literally, akhi, when I saw the other day the way they were attacking Islam, they're going into your Qur'an that you don't read,
that you don't even understand,
and telling you there's an ayah here that you've never read in your life, and telling you this ayah means this, and this hadith that you've never seen in your life, telling you this hadith, look, it shows you that there Islam is batil and it's false, and you're just left now with all these doubts in your head. You don't have the ammunition, and that's why they say ilm is the silah, is the ammunition. When we seek ilm, akhi, we're literally training our souls, patience. We're teaching ourselves to have sabr. We're teaching ourselves al-qada wal-qadar. We're teaching ourselves, we're training. So that tomorrow, when a calamity befalls us, we've already built that foundation, like, okay, maybe it's khaira. عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم. Maybe you hate something is good for you. We've got all of this training in place, so to be patient, and you realize the person that didn't have that, but he chased the dunya. He could have the dunya, but then when calamity is before him, he's breaking down. If we were to take Islamic curriculum and we think about all of the sciences of Islam, if you were to try and judge it by like a curriculum, and you say, okay, this is your primary school, this is your secondary school. Muslims today, I don't even know if they're past nursery level in Islamic knowledge.
Oh, subhanallah.
And we're talking about adults.
First of all, bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. So I wanted to share, there are certain things that I've realized that when I record videos and it's prepared and it's in front of the camera and I thought about it and so on, it's not the same as when you just put in front of a crowd and you just gotta freestyle. And so I feel like when we talk in between us, whether it's those 2-3 hours. I remember when we first met in Mecca, after Fajr, we spent like 6 hours talking almost until it was almost Dhuhr from after Fajr. And I feel like those conversations in the type of times that we are in, it's hard to put it into content, because you feel like, at least me personally, I feel like, people are not going to listen to me, so let me just like, polish it. Let me just present it nice. But in reality, the real conversations are those which are just real from the heart, like, with no preparation. So based on what we were talking about, I feel like every time we have been seeing each other these past few months, we've been talking about this, and being you an entrepreneur, being me an entrepreneur, but at the same time haven't started all of these for the sake of seeking knowledge. And as a side point as well, something that was very interesting that our brother said, Hanif, which again I met him in 2013 in Egypt. He was like, I don't see people having this zeal that we had in those 2010s for seeking knowledge anymore. So I want to read this qawl, which is related to memorization of the Qur'an. And the reason why I picked this topic is because we were just talking about it downstairs. And I generally feel like when you talk about, there are certain topics I cannot talk with anybody. I feel like I generally feel like they don't get it. And that's the only way how I can describe it. And I feel like those students, for example, who did commit to like leave their comfort zone and go to, whether it was Egypt, whether it was Mauritania, whether it was Saudi, for years and years and years, and not seek any sort of dunya while doing it, like generally just, this is the best life I'm living. I feel like those type of students are the ones that when I talk to them about these topics, you being one of them, is when you feel that connection from the nafs when we talk about these topics. So I want to start this by reading these two aqwal, or this qawlan, or this qawlain if it's a mansoob. So Imam Shafi'i says, حق على طلاب العلم بلوغ غاية جهدهم في استذكار من علمهم في الاستذكار من علمهم، والصبر على كل عارض دون طلبه، وإخلاص النية لله في استدراك علمه نصا واستنباطا، والرغبة إلى الله في العون عليه، فإنه لا يدرك خيرا إلا بعونه، فإن من أدرك علم أحكام الله في كتابه نصا واستدلالا ووفقه الله للقول والعمل بما علم منه فاز بالفضيلة في دينه ودنياه وانتفت عنه الريب ونورت في قلبه الحكمة واستوجب في الدين موضع الإمامة واستوجب في الدين موضع الإمامة. For those watching, I would read the translation. It says, it is the duty of students of knowledge to put all their effort into gaining as much knowledge as they can, to be patient with anything that gets in the way of seeking it, and to make their intention sincere for Allah when trying to gain knowledge, whether directly from text or by understanding and deriving rulings. They should ask Allah to help them, because no good can be achieved except with His help. Whoever learns Allah's rulings in His book, both directly and through understanding, and Allah helps him to speak and act according to what he has learned, that person gains excellence in his religion and his worldly life, meaning in dunya and akhirah. Doubts leave him, wisdom fills his heart, and he becomes deserving of a position of leadership in the religion. I feel like there's certain stuff maybe we could like clarify a little more, but I want to come back to this one. Now the second qawl that I will then leave us or leave you the space to comment on it, to see what exactly hit you from this. Imam Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he says, وَأَمَّا طَلَبُ حِفْظِ القرآن فهو مقدم على كثير مما نسميه أو مما تسميه الناس علما وهو إما باطل أو قليل النفع وهو أيضا مقدم في التعلم في حق من يريد أن يتعلم علم الدين من الأصول والفروع فإن المشروع في حق مثل هذا في هذه الأوقات أن يبدأ بحفظ القرآن فإنه أصل علوم الدين. Shaykh Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he says, studying and memorizing the Qur'an comes before many things that people call knowledge, which are either false or have very little benefit. Memorizing the Qur'an also comes first for someone who wants to learn the religion, its foundations and its details. What is recommended for such a person, especially in these times, is to, these times, and he's talking about his times, what about our times? Especially in these times, is to start with memorizing the Qur'an, because it is the foundation of all the knowledge of the religion.
SubhanAllah.
So what in particular hits you from this?
Yeah, there's two things. You know, the second thing that Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned, that a person starts with the Qur'an, right? And this is linked to something I've been talking about recently, is that in the Muslim world, this used to be a priority. Long time ago, it used to be a priority. After a lot of the Muslim countries, they were colonized, there was a shift from studying the Qur'an and studying the deen to studying academic subjects, right? And the love for the dunya, or building a career, started to overtake the Muslims when it comes to they started looking at building a career as a priority and studying Islam as something secondary. And there was actually a shift where they said that religion or studying religion, that's kind of like for those poor people, the people that they're not really upper class, they just, they stay in the masjid, that's for them, right? And the reality is that whoever pays importance to the Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens up doors for them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it actually makes your academic studies a lot easier as well. And it's sad, because the Muslims today, they only, when it comes to even memorizing the Qur'an, they'll be happy with memorizing, maybe even if it's juz' amma is enough. There'll be no faham, there'll be no understanding, there'll be no tadabbur. It's just get to that level and then you finish your journey. That's your journey with the Qur'an finished.
Assalamu alaikum. While you're here, let me just ask you something. How long have you been wanting to learn the Arabic language for? Months? Years? 9 times out of 10, there's something that always gets in the way. But while we're here right now, I want to ask you, if not now, then when? Because right now, you're not getting any younger. Life isn't getting any easier. You're not going to get any more free time. And the key to getting ahead is to get started. Simple. I would advise you right now, while you're watching a video, build on this momentum, click the link in the description, speak to my team, and see how we can help you master the Arabic language once and for all.
And then a heavy emphasis on, like what Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah said there, some knowledge that doesn't even benefit them. No, I'm even talking about from secular studies. Like just, right, there's so many things we study at school that would zero benefit to our lives. right? And we would study for 5 years, at least in secondary school. How many years in primary school? Yes, I'm not saying don't study, you need this knowledge and stuff, but the emphasis is way more than emphasis on the Qur'an, right? And I was actually amazed because I was speaking to, if you remember, our brother from Senegal, Muhammad, and there's another brother, Malik, and mashallah, they're huffad. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up the dunya for them, right? And they were saying, in Senegal, we have a system where our children don't even go to school until they memorize the Qur'an. So for now, for example, the brother, his daughter, she's in the Markaz. They stay from there, from Fajr, all the way to Isha. All they do is memorize the Qur'an. They finish by the time they're 8, around 7, 8, sometimes 9, they finish. Then they start their secular studies. And you'll find that they actually excel more because they've prioritized the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when I was listening to that, I was like, subhanAllah, like the shift that's happened today is just crazy. You can just see it. Like if you just take a general Muslim from the UK, for example, and you're asking have you memorized the Qur'an, or how much have you memorized? It's like minimal. Sometimes he might not even done Juz' Amma, right? And that's on top of not even understanding. That's on top of so there's been this zero emphasis, and that's why I've been telling people recently, like when I actually pondered over it, I said, if we were to take Islam is weighty, it's full of knowledge, right? And here the Sheikh is saying, seek as much knowledge as you can when it comes to Islam. It's an ongoing thing, right? طلب العلم من what's the expression? من
المستحبات ولا
من المحل إلى اللحد. إيه.
من المهدي إلى
من المهد إلى اللحد.
No.
إيه. So we're seeking knowledge from the cradle to the grave. It never stops. We haven't gone anywhere near istikthar or gain, really prioritizing Islamic knowledge, and it's very sad. Like, if we were to take Islamic curriculum and we think about all of the sciences of Islam, from aqidah to fiqh to al-lugha, balagha, you got al-akhlaq, you got al-muamalat, you got al-mirath, you got al-sirah, al-sirah al-nabawiyah, you got so many sciences, ulum al-Qur'an, ulum al-tafsir, all of these sciences. And you were to put it on if you were to try and judge it by like a curriculum, and you say, okay, this is your primary school, this is your secondary school. Muslims today, they haven't, I don't even know if they're past nursery level in Islamic knowledge.
Oh, subhanallah.
And we're talking about adults. They graduate from school and they get their GCSEs, but if you ask them, it's basic questions. What's Tawheed? Who's our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Tell me something
about
Islam. What is Islam? What is Iman? What is, basic things. Who is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mother? What's her name? Tell me about what was her life like? They can't answer. But if you ask them who this footballer is or this basketball player is, they can give you all the information. So what I've realized is there's been a major shift, and it's even more so now. When I became Muslim in 2007, there was still some wa'i and some consciousness about talab al-ilm. Now that's like near enough gone. Literally, someone become Muslim and all he's left with is some TikToks, some Instagram reels, maybe some odd YouTube videos here and there, but knowledge is not there. And I was literally having a conversation with some reverts the other day, and from the conversation I could just suss that there's zero foundation. Like you still don't really understand what is.
That's what's sad.
Yeah, it's sad, akhi. And it's not to even put Muslims down, but it's just sad, akhi. And that's why I asked in our previous podcast, I was trying to ask, like, Sheikh, where does a Muslim start in today's age? So, like, I just think, like, now Muslims living in the West, the first thing that they need to prioritize is the Qur'an. Memorize it and understand it. And that's why, obviously, both of us we're very big on the Arabic language, because I'll never forget, there's a Sheikh in Mecca, he said that when you study the Qur'an, you study all the sciences. You have to know a seerah. You have to lugha. You have to know balagha. You have to know fiqh. You have to know aqidah. It's all in the Qur'an. So memorizing the Qur'an is like the beginning. Couple that with actually understanding. Now you need the Arabic language. From there, all of the doors of khair, they open up to you. That's one thing I got from that. And the second thing I got from that is that which is linked to the first point, we prioritize academic studies. We're scared. We want our kids to have a career. We don't want them to be poor, etc., etc. Not knowing that studying the deen opens up doors of rizq for you. Your rizq is maktub. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your rizq is okay. It's fine. There's no way that you're going to prioritize the deen, right? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to make your affairs where you're not going to be able to survive. And the greatest imams of today, they didn't put the dunya first. They're the ones we're saying rahimahullah to. They're the ones we're remembering. All these people that put their dunya first, where are they today? Who do we even know them? Even if you look at people who have got 7 figures, 8 figures, they're not people who were multi-millionaires 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Do we know who they are? No one mentions their name like, oh, this guy was so amazing. No one even knows who they are today. Whereas you can take any of the poorest scholars from 1,000 years ago till today, we're still mentioning them. So I think like that thing is a reminder even to ourselves that that we need to prioritize. And this is what we were having a conversation the other day, like battling like, okay, business, Qur'an, business, Qur'an. And I sent you that voice note the other day. It was just like, I spoke to that brother and I just literally went home and I was like, it's Qur'an first. Yeah, it's Qur'an first. Yeah. I've been saying to myself, I do business so that I can be free financially. I don't have to think about business and I just focus on the Qur'an. But the thing is, weeks are going by, months are going by, years are going by. And that perfect situation is not going to be there. Like, it's never going to be there. So I said that day, I said, that's it. I'm going back to the markaz. I'm just going to do memorization from the markaz from 8 to 12. Just memorization. After that, we'll figure out the dunya stuff. We'll figure out how we're going to scale, what we're going to do in business. We'll figure that out. The first thing is we need to prioritize the Qur'an. And I just think that's where all the barakah is at. And one thing that really hit me when I was talking to that brother is that I prioritized, when I first became Muslim, just like yourself, akhi, we prioritized the deen, akhi. We weren't thinking about, I went Egypt. I remember when I went Egypt, akhi. I went Egypt with £300. £300. No, not £300. I think I had about £100. There's a Kuwaiti brother said, brother, how are you gonna survive? He actually went because they had zero money. He went. He said, brother, take £200 at least. Please, just take £200. Like, how are you gonna survive? I said, I'm just going. I'll just find a way. We never thought about money. When I went to Saudi Arabia, the same thing. I wasn't thinking about how I'm gonna make money, how I'm gonna survive. We said we're gonna seek it in. The dunya, it will come. We're gonna seek it in. And we didn't even realize, it wasn't even like, for myself anyway, I didn't say the dunya would come. I wasn't even thinking about dunya. It wasn't even in my mind. It's like, I want to go seek knowledge. I want to seek I want to seek knowledge, understand Allah's religion. And subhanAllah, doors open. Like, we're not starving. We're not losing weight. The doors open. Even if those difficult times, the doors open. And now, as you've seen, so many opportunities have just come this way. And we never wanted it. We never asked for it. We never, Allah, And it just goes back to the ayah, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Whoever fears Allah, Allah will make a way out for him. And he will give him rizq from avenues that you never imagine. And we've got so many, akhi, I could go on all day, akhi. You got brothers in Africa. I remember, I was speaking to Muhammad al-Senegali, and, and his beauty of knowing the Arabic languages is that we only talk in Arabic. He knows French and he knows his local language. And he said to me, he first memorized the Qur'an, which was inspirational because he started around 19 or 20. And by 22, he memorized. And when he memorized, he realized he didn't understand. So he went to Mauritania to study and mastered Arabic on a crazy level, like poetry and everything. Then from there, he went to Egypt. He was in Azhar University as well. And when he went there, brothers were saying, what are you doing in Azhar University? You need to be careful, your aqeedah. So he went to Yemen. So he dropped out the uni, left the uni. And he said by that time, it's like the exams were so easy because he already mastered Arabic. He was just going there for the certificate. He went to Yemen. And then after that, obviously there was wars and stuff. He ended up in Saudi Arabia. That's where I met him. Then he spent a year or two in Saudi Arabia. He ended up back in Senegal. When he went back, people saying, you spent all these years studying Qur'an, this. What have you got? You didn't even get your certificate. You didn't even get a degree. What have you got? All right. Within 1 year, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up so many doors for him. Shops in currency exchange, stationery, importing from Egypt, like so many. He's got like so many different businesses now, yeah. And I remember like, one day he showed me a video. He said, "Akhi, I'm just gonna show you this." So he opens the safe, and just like cash, like he said, "Look, this is investors' money. It's not my money. It's investors' money. I'll show you this to show you that business has barakah." He always says to me, "Business has barakah." And now, the same family members that were saying, now they're coming around, they're like, how did this happen?
No.
And he's in the middle of Africa, right? In the middle of Africa. And he's earning more money than so many brothers that prioritize their GCSEs degrees, earning way more than they're earning. And all he did is went out to memorize the Qur'an. But then on his journey, he found some brothers that are like businessmen, learn a bit of tijara. Oh, he realized, you can actually buy and sell and make money. And then he has a thing which is very inspirational. He says, my goal, I'm just going to build a masjid and I want to teach the people ilm. So that's one of his motives for being an entrepreneur. And countless stories we see again and again, brothers that just prioritize the Qur'an, the doors of rizq, they open up for them. They didn't even want it. And it came to them. So I feel like, and even if it didn't come, even if like you don't have to be super rich to be happy. Literally don't, all you need, and there's a sweetness of iman, and similar to what you were just saying now, akhi, like there's a sweetness of iman, there's a sweetness of talab al-ilm and seeking knowledge that only the one who's tasted it understands. That alone is sa'ada. That alone will give you contentment in your life. And when we seek ilm, akhi, we're literally training our souls patience. We're teaching ourselves to have sabr. We're teaching ourselves al-qada wal-qadar. We're teaching ourselves, we're training so that tomorrow when a calamity befalls us, we've already built that foundation, like, okay, maybe it's khairah. عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم. Maybe you hate something is good for you. We've got all of this training in place so to be patient, and you realize the person that didn't have that, but he chased the dunya. He could have the dunya, but then when calamity is before him, he's breaking down. He doesn't understand why. He doesn't understand the hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't have the stories of the prophets and messengers to keep him firm in these calamities. And I feel like all the khair, just going off what Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah said, all the khair, it comes from the Qur'an. All the khair, rizq will come, contentment, rida, everything will come from the Qur'an. Later on, even if you don't have much, even if you don't have much money, your happiness is something else. And I remember being in the masjid, shoulder to shoulder, part-time jobs. I'm happy. I'm content, like my dad could not understand. My dad's Nigerian and they're big on education, big on education. And naturally in school, I was top set. Like naturally, even though I was a naughty kid, like maths, I'm top set. I'm with all the geeks and we used to call them boffins back in the day, like all the geeks, and we're just like literally like he's got private tuition and I'm still competing with him in class. So my dad was big on education. So when I left school, obviously in those days I was rapping and stuff as well, and I was building that career. So when I stopped even school and I was like, no, I'm just gonna do the music thing because I'm talented at it. So that's what I'm gonna do. My dad was annoyed. Then when I became Muslim and I started wearing thobes, he's like, these gowns you're wearing, and he's very secular, and he's got a good job in the government. So he's just looking at me like, how are you gonna get a job wearing all this stuff? And you need to go back to uni and I'm like, yeah, I don't really need to do that. I just want to seek knowledge. And he's just like, seeking knowledge. It's Islamic knowledge you're seeking. Are you going to make money from this, right? And there was something I couldn't, you're not Muslim. You will never understand what I feel. You'll never understand when I'm seeing the statements of Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, and I'm seeing these fawaid.
Yeah, and even Muslims again.
Yeah, like exactly. Even Muslims that haven't embarked on knowledge, you can't get it. Like you could be reading the books of the Salaf and you're just out of this dunya. You're just you're just in a whole nother world. So I remember when my dad, he came to me and he's like, you just come here with your gowns, looking like a peasant. You know, that's like a little Nigerian word, like a peasant, looking like a peasant. Like, when are you gonna, you know, do something? And then I got accepted in Qur'an University. You still don't understand. You're going to study Arabic, Islam. When you're gonna start, he used to. It was like Sanawiyan, like yearly. He'll come and be like, "So when's this course of yours gonna finish then?" I'm like, I don't need it to finish. I'm loving what I'm studying. Everything. It's like, yeah, when you're gonna start your career, right? Everything with him is about money, right? And I was like, I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, you got a master's in English already before that, no?
Yeah, I did, but my goal was to get to Saudi. It wasn't for, like, I actually started studying a master's in English language teaching just to get to Saudi. In case I don't get in the uni, I'm going to teach. I'm going to study with the ulama in the evening. So when that was another thing on top of that. Once I actually done a master's, it's like, oh, what are you doing then? Are you going to work or?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I want to study. I want to seek him. Like, that's what I want to do. Yeah. So that sweetness, money can't buy that. Money just, so even if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you rizq, enough for you to survive, but you're seeking ilm, that contentment and that happiness you have, money cannot buy. We see not brothers, but we see people on 7 figures, 8 figures, depressed. It's not the money. Money is just the means, right? So then once I finished uni, alhamdulillah, doors opened up for us, alhamdulillah. You know, a lot of doors open up for us, and we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that يكون حجة لنا وليس حجة علينا, that it will be a proof for us and not a proof against us. But the khair is there, alhamdulillah. Everything is with the Qur'an. Put Qur'an first, put your deen first, the doors will open up. Yes, you'll have trials. I'm not saying on the journey, we know there's trials, there's tribulations, but shakal am, you're going to be a lot more content in your life, a lot more happy in your life, a lot more prosperous in your life. And if you're not seeking ilm, you are not fulfilling your purpose. Yes, no doubt it's for kifaya, certain ilm, and you just need enough ilm to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah is saying there, you have to do as much as you can. Keep going. Why stop? You know, why stop? Keep seeking ilm, keep learning.
Assalamu alaikum. While you're here, let me just ask you something. How long have you been wanting to learn the Arabic language for? Months? Years? 9 times out of 10, there's something that always gets in the way. But while we're here right now, I want to ask you, if not now, then when? Because right now, you're not getting any younger. Life isn't getting any easier. You're not going to get any more free time. And the key to getting ahead is to get started. Simple. I would advise you right now, while you're watching the video, build on this momentum, click the link in the description, speak to my team, and see how we can help you master the Arabic language once and for all.
And if anyone's watching this, I would say, like, I was trying to get the brothers to mention it, but I really feel like the Qur'an and Hadith, those two things, and a biography of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's a must. If you're watching this right now, you have to know who Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is. Like that's just a standard thing. And I feel a lot of Muslims, they haven't ever read the biography of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you're watching this right now, go and buy it. Go on Amazon, go type in biography of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and go and read who he is. And get the Qur'an and start learning how to read it, and the Arabic language, start learning it. Those things there, the return on investment is so high, so high. Like, and then you have to pass that down to your children. So yeah, I feel talab al-ilm is something we all have to embark upon.
Yeah, for me is which I posted a video the other day on my Instagram, and every time I see myself explaining this, I'm like, nah, I can't express it. But when he said here, فإن من أدرك علم أحكام الله في كتابه نصا واستدلالا ووفقه الله للقول والعمل بما علم منه فاز بالفضيلة في دينه ودنياه. Whoever learns Allah's rulings in his book, both directly and through understanding, and Allah helps him to speak and act according to what he has learned, that person gains excellence in his religion and his worldly life. So when he says nassan wastidlalan, and I'm going to try to explain it clearly, why this is my inspiration to, for a few years, be fine not being that involve in business, and actually get to the point, because like I was saying downstairs, I feel with the Qur'an, some people start, and I'm talking about students though, because it's not some people, they will never memorize the Qur'an, but some students, Allah has given you the capability already, but yet you got distracted with whatever else. Like maybe, like me for example, I left Egypt because of whatever I had to leave, but I memorized, I got tested when I left on 12 Jews, and I even surprised myself from being able to sit down one whole morning. And I had that time the brother Abdur, a Senegalese brother who was staying with me, and I said, I have an exam, can you just listen to me, these 12 Jews? Sat down, we went to the rooftop, I sat down, I read the whole thing from the top of my head. And that day I was like, it was the first time I actually read the whole thing all together, everything I know from the Qur'an. And I was like, subhanAllah, man, this is actually possible. Because before it was like, these people are Huffaz. I remember watching this documentary called Quran or Al-Qur'an with a K. And it's just children preparing for the competition in Dubai. And I was like, man, I don't know how they do it. But the point is, my inspiration to put that much effort into the Qur'an, where when I talk to Muslim entrepreneurs, I can't relate, because it's like, yeah, but don't you want to, like, why don't you want to scale? Yeah, but why don't you want to, like, but then with the money you can do khair, and I don't know if it's a personal thing, like a selfish thing, like, no, I want this Qur'an in my heart, or is it that they just didn't taste it? Because when he says, man adraka ahkamillah, or whoever gets the rulings of Allah, and he says nassan wa istidlalan. So nassan, and you have memorized the book and you are able to recall it, but istidlalan, that's my biggest inspiration, because like I said earlier,
extrapolating.
When I was into this Damaji Masjid, this brothers from Damaji, for those who don't understand what I mean, is there was a sheikh in Yemen who took the place of Imam Sheikh Muqbil, who was very known sheikh from the Sunnah. After he passed away, so Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri is married to one of the daughters of Sheikh Muqbil, so he took the spot and he started giving da'wah, and basically that masjid, because I think a lot of people, they don't realize what that masjid was and why it was so known, and why it was, like, for example, Sheikh Rabi' rahimahullah, he was saying 1 year in the masjid is like 2 years in Medina, in terms of how much you benefit, how much you learn. And another shiur, everybody was praising Damaj, everybody wanted to go Damaj. Myself, I tried to get the visa to go Yemen, and then the war started and whatnot, because those students that came from, when I was in Egypt, you would see the students who just came from the West, how they live their day-to-day life, when they sitting down it's the details. You see them in the restaurant, they laugh and and then they go to the class. But when I saw the brothers that come from Damaj from Yemen in general, it's like they always with the book, they're always serious, they're always revising, they're always memorizing, they're walking around with the book, they're trying to recall things. I'm like, yo, these brothers are different, man. It's something about the masjid. So then that masjid, what it's just a masjid. You enter, and there's, I don't know where you could see the durus, but it was halaqat everywhere. There's groups of students who have already read that book or studied that book with the sheikh, and the sheikh said, okay, now go teach it. And the whole masjid is halaqat of any book you might want to study. To the point there was a French brother, he told me, who was there, he said, I didn't learn Arabic, you know why? Because I will go to the masjid and I will hear, yo, there's new book of Kitab Tawhid being open. Yo, there's new book Kashf al-Mufrad. And he will get FOMO of like, oh man, I gotta go over that book. And he would always keep that little bit of Arabic that he knew. So he never actually, because for him it was like, oh man, I'll just start a halaqah for Medina books. It's like, oh man, it's not as like, he was maftoon by the actual ulum. So the point, what I'm trying to say with this is these people right there, this type of people, these guys, this in the shuyukh as well of Yemen, they have a particular style. when it comes to istidlal, that's what inspires me. What inspires me, I remember at that time when I was in Egypt with the brothers, we would glorify brothers who, he just gave a 2-hour dars from the top of his head. قال الله وقال رسول قال صحابة وقال فلان what, and he's just he quotes something, he breaks it down for 25 minutes, and as he's quoting this, he's quoting ayat, he's quoting, which is what Shaykh Islamic Taymiyyah is talking about, which is you live your life and you're able to do istidlal. Now you sat. Why you sat? SubhanAllah, this is why Yusuf alayhi salam, Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Qur'an, why wouldn't you be scared of going with no money? It almost becomes a way of speaking that not anybody can understand either.
Yeah.
And maybe it's sometimes even awkward. You're talking to somebody and you keep on saying ayat like akhi tayyib, yani speak regular, yani is a nas, yani. So for me, this is my inspiration. I generally feel like it's so worth it to not put that much time on business, and just it would take 5 years, 6, maybe 10 even, to get to a point where you have memorized the whole Qur'an and you have gone over the tafsir, every ayah, the why it was descended.
Yes,
and you can live your life and just remember, subhanAllah, today in the 2 juz that I read today as muraja, because that's another thing, as a side point.
Muraja, revision.
Muraja, once you memorize it, it's gonna stick with you.
Yeah.
And there was this the father of a random guy that I became good acquaintance with in Mauritania, who again memorized the Qur'an out of cultural etiquette. He was like, when we went to Mauritania, we took out 4 months just to memorize the Qur'an. He was like, be careful, because it's not an obligation to memorize the Qur'an, but it's an obligation to keep it. And he quoted the ayah in the akhir Surah Taha, which I'm not going to be able to recall right now. Perhaps I can search at the same time. But yeah, that was the side point. But what I was trying to say is that the istidlal, bro, living your life with being able to do at any point with any topic istidlal from the Qur'an, even if remove like
extrapolating what fawaid or
fawaid, sometimes siras, like
benefits.
For example, yesterday we were talking about there was what brother told me something about, I was sitting with this brother and he was telling me about some divorce he went through and situation with his woman, and he was telling me, he was basically asking me like, did I do right? And I was like, look, the Prophet ﷺ, Allah said to him, Ya Nabi, lima tuharrimu ma halallahu lak. Why do you make haram upon you what Allah made halal what Allah made halal for you? And that was, if you look at the tafsir, that the Prophet ﷺ felt bad, so he told his wife, okay, if you don't want me to do it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But then Allah said, why you doing? Yeah. So it shows you through this. It's just a simple example. It shows you through how the Prophet ﷺ was human as well.
Yeah.
And then Allah Azza wa Jal teaching you lessons through his experience and so on. So being able to imagine, this is just one ayah. In how many instances can you advise someone, or even advise yourself? Or even like calm yourself down from a situation or whatever it may, or even know how to be a man, because nowadays how many people say, no, you a man, you gotta make your wife feel like this or like that. Like, this is the akhlaq and the etiquette of the Prophet. He actually felt. So even if Allah made it, your feelings towards that is still valid. So for me, the vision of like putting time away and forget about this whole thing that I was on, or like, just keep on making money, just keep on, at one point, you're gonna have 10 mil and you're gonna be able to focus then, and it's not gonna get there.
Never ending. Yeah. And that's what I said about the training, what you said of in terms of the istidlal and having these ayat to help you through all aspects of life. That's sa'adah, that's for the rest of your life. And even when you mentioned that, I was just thinking, how is your Ramadan's gonna be? Imagine if you get that before you're 30, or even you get that before you're 40. you don't know, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you another 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of life, I used to literally look at the mashayikh sometimes in the haram, in the Taraweeh, and I just look at them and I used to think, what's going through their heads when they're hearing these ayat? Because when you see a sheikh, and I've sat in tafsir lessons in Mecca, sometimes the sheikh 1 hour solid on one ayah. 1 hour solid, akhi, and the fawaid, and how this ayah is linked to another ayah, and he's bringing a hadith, and your mind just gets boggled like this ilm. That's why the ulama say al-ilm thaqeel. It's thaqeel, it's heavy. It's heavy, and the wahi, when the wahi used to be revealed upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it would weigh him down. This wahi is وَلَوْ أَنزَلْنَا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ عَلَى جَبْلٍ لَرَأَيْتُهُ خَاشِعًا مُتَصَدِّعًا مِنْ خَشْيَةِ اللَّهِ. This Qur'an, if it was revealed on a mountain, you will find it humbled, trembling, you know.
إِنَّ سَنُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so that's one thing, like, I realized, like, that's your happiness, having the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes when I think about it, when people make vision boards, I think about my vision board. I haven't even drew it out, but I am vision it. What's my life going to be like when I'm older? Or how do I want my life to be? I literally just vision myself go into a sheikh and just do my muraja'ah. And that's my little thing, old man, just walk into the masjid. Ya sheikh, كيف الحال؟ يلا تعال. Bismillah, and I just get in there, and that's my little joke, my vibe. That's my little vibe with the sheikh. And just like, sheikh, what is it? And just doing the muraja'ah of tafsir, doing a tadabbur and pondering over the Qur'an. There's nothing in this world that can amount to that. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, he mentioned, he said the best dhikr is the Qur'an. If you want to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want to remember where you came from, what you're doing here and where you're going, you have to spend your life with the Qur'an. It's going to be the best companion you can have. And I feel like now we've kind of drifted away from that traditional approach when it comes to learning, and we've kind of prioritized a lot of things. And one thing I wanted to mention is, in our community, especially reverts, there was a lot of emphasis on aqeedah. There was a lot of emphasis on understanding what bid'ah is, and no doubt that's super important. But I realized there was khalal and there was big issues when it comes to the Qur'an. It wasn't being read. It wasn't. I was speaking to a brother one time. He said, "Bro, I ain't read the Qur'an since last Ramadan." Right? But at the same time, you've got everything to say about everyone else in the world. But you haven't picked up the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, that's musibah, that's disaster. So I feel like it's something that we have to put more emphasis on as Muslims. And I don't know, akhi, I just got this guilt. If I don't memorize the Qur'an before I die, it's just like, but it don't matter what you scale to. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, if you haven't got that, because you're going to be asked to do tartil of the Qur'an, recite the Qur'an, and that's going to be your place in Jannah. You know, so it's something like, and now the hujjah is gone, because I said, I'm going to learn Arabic first. Because when I was trying to memorize, without Arabic, I couldn't do it. Like, it seemed just so impossible for me. And I just felt like a parrot. I'm just parroting words. But I've got the Arabic now. For me, it's even easier. Like, it's not, I can actually understand. When I'm reading, I understand it. I don't even when I do the hifz, I go to the tafsir. I'm reading the tafsir with it. I'm seeing what the mufassirin and the explainers of the Qur'an are saying about these ayat, which is a different type of ladha as well. So I feel like the proof is like that hujjah of like, I don't understand anything. That's all gone now. So I just want to try and just prioritize, al-hifz, and just live my life by that. But sometimes the distractions and even sometimes your own family, they're not gonna fully understand your journey and what you really are about. Sometimes I used to say to my family, like, you don't get it, like, you just don't understand where I came from. I was trying to explain, I came from a certain environment when I became Muslim. Like, Talib al-ilm is a whole another alam. It's a whole another alam, and it's hard to explain to someone when they haven't really been involved in it. And when I'm feeling like I literally took a step back the other day and I said, I'm not the same. I'm not where that zeal I had, it's not the same as when I first became Muslim.
Yeah.
It's decreased. And I'm like, no, I have to get that back. Like I have to get that back and be like, yo, talib al-ilm, that's all it is. Everything else is secondary. So now, and as I was mentioning to the brothers, after, you know, the Sheikh, he said to us in Mecca, he said, don't ever leave this place and you haven't memorized the Qur'an. And that statement, it hasn't left my head, akhi. I can't get, like, every time I think about it, I'm like, I need to memorize.
Yeah.
And I went to, just to add to that, I went to, alhamdulillah, who signed up for the markaz in Ajman. We got a Sheikh from Bangladesh, amazing Sheikh. And I missed a couple of days. And when I came, I said, you know, Sheikh, I was busy with tijara and stuff and business. And he said, you know, he said, Abdur Rahman, he said, this dunya is like the water in the sea. It's like the bahar. And you're on the safina, you're on the ship. He said, you need the water to get to your destination. You're traveling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need the dunya. But don't ever let the water in the bahar overcome you. Don't let this dunya overcome you, because if that water gets in the ship, it's gonna drown. And he just kept saying it, the same thing. He said to me twice, 2 or 3 times. He said to me, and I was like, you know, it's so true. He said, don't ever. He said, this markaz, even if you, he said, I'm here every day. Even if you come and just read half a page, make sure you come to the markaz, you know. And he's made me feel even more guilty when I've missed days now. Like, I'm just like, oh. He said, you have no excuse. He said, if you don't come today, you meet me in the masjid. If you can't meet in the masjid, you ring me on Boltim, you know, the app they have here in the Emirates. Ring on Boltim. He's left me with like 0 excuses. And I said, these are signs. These are signs, like, you know, Allah is giving you a sheikh. Akhiday in Ajman, I don't know about your one, the one in Ajman. It's just me and one other brother. The sheikh, he's literally 4 hours ready to listen to you. You want to do as many ajza as you want. He's ready to listen to you. I'm like, I was saying, I didn't even have this opportunity in Mecca.
Yeah, it's actually hard to find somebody to listen to you.
I didn't even have that in Mecca. He would just sit down and read. Do you want to read another juz? Go read.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, I need to. And this actually changed my whole perspective on the Emirates, because I was really missing Saudi. And I was like, you know what? This is actually a great opportunity. Like, there's a lot I can get done here. And then obviously here is expensive. The cost of living is expensive. I was like, okay, if I'm getting this, then it's worth every investment. But yeah, Sheikh, I just feel like right now, I want to kind of prioritize this, and I want to encourage other Muslims to do the same thing as well, and get them on the same path if they're not already on it already, and just kind of just like, recite the Qur'an, practice the Qur'an. I feel I don't know why, akhi, in our community, we don't even read the Qur'an together, akhi.
Yeah.
You see the Somalis, they do it, they read together. They have that culture. There's even some other Arab communities in Morocco, they have this culture. They'll get together, they'll read the Qur'an. I don't know why in our community we don't read it, akhi.
Yeah, well, there's a heavy thing of like, you know, that's bid'ah to read the Qur'an all together. But I think
even if you're just going around in a circle, even if you
but
like,
that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of like this whole like, oh no, we don't do it. Did the Salaf do it? And then to the point where they prefer not do anything. Then actually, well, yeah, I get what you mean.
Just to touch on that, actually, one thing that really frustrated me when I was living in the UK is that when you say now it's all about the Qur'an, they say Ahlul Bid'ah, they memorize the Qur'an. Once memorized, they literally push it like, you know, Ahlul Bid'ah memorize the Qur'an. That didn't benefit them.
But that's what I'm saying. People don't get it, man.
Yeah, you don't get it. It's like,
you don't get it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's true. But also, every single Imam was a Hafid. Every single major scholar was a Hafid. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna get any Imams that are not Huffaz. Yeah. It was a standard thing. And when you ever read the biographies, and when I was constant, you know, in the Jama'ah, we were in the university, we used to always read biographies and stuff. And when I was reading biographies, like, every sheikh memorized when he was 9, memorized when he was 10, memorized like young age. You've already memorized. That was just like a standard thing. And then they went on to ilm, and I was like, oh, we haven't even got the the basis. So yeah, that and I think that and the Arabic language is a starting point. I'm not trying to say like, obviously we have to study Aqeedah, we have to understand who Allah is. But what this is a problem is we study Aqeedah so that when we read the Qur'an, we understand the Qur'an. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ حَبَلِ الْوَرِيدِ, Then we read the tafsir, it says fi ilmihi. This is all aqidah. We do it so when we do a tadabbur in the Qur'an, we understand what Allah is telling us. We don't study aqidah for it to be a separate subject, or we just study it but it's not being applied because we're not reading the Qur'an.
No.
It's so that when we go through these ayat, it's like, okay, don't get confused here. This is what Allah intends here. This is what Allah's name means here. Understand these concepts. It's not to be something that's studied outside or externally and you never actually get into it. It's like, for example, Arabic. It's like studying Nahu and Sarf, but you never read an Arabic book.
Assalamu alaikum. While you're here, let me just ask you something. How long have you been wanting to learn the Arabic language for? Months? Years? 9 times out of 10, there's something that always gets in the way. But while we're here right now, I want to ask you, if not now, then when? Because right now, you're not getting any younger. Life isn't getting any easier. You're not going to get any more free time. And the key to getting ahead is to get started. Simple. I would advise you right now, while you're watching a video, build on this momentum, click the link in the description, speak to my team, and see how we can help you master the Arabic language once and for all.
Yeah.
You study Nahu and Sarf so that when you read Al-Qur'an, Sunnah, you read Shi'r and Adab, literature and poetry, you understand. It's
in the Qur'an.
Yeah, I said the Qur'an first, yeah. It's like, so you can understand text. You don't study Arabic grammar and just study Arabic grammar and just leave it there.
Or you don't even have vocabulary to use it.
You don't have vocabulary and you can't use it, etc. So yeah, it's sad because obviously in the West, in UK in particular, we don't have a education system for Islam. It's not an education system. Muslims are just left to guess. It's really sad when you think about it, and they'll have a little basis from their parents, but once they have children, if they don't actively go and seek knowledge, their children will not understand Islam.
Yeah.
Zero Islam. It'll just be Muslim like a proud thing, like I'm from this country type of thing.
Yeah, like I repped.
Yeah.
I repped this blood.
Yeah, and it's not actually something that's embedded with foundation. So I feel the need for talib al-ilm now is even more so than before. Before, it could be enough for Muslims living in a Muslim country in a righteous society to know the basics for your, wudu and everything. But now it's like you got literally, when I saw the other day the way they were attacking Islam, shubuhat and doubts, and they're going into your Qur'an that you don't read,
that you don't even understand,
and telling you there's an ayah here that you've never read in your life, and telling you this ayah means this, and this hadith that you've never seen in your life, telling you this hadith, look, it shows you that Islam is batil and it's false. And you're just left now with all these doubts in your head. You don't have the ammunition. And that's why they say ilm is the silah, is the ammunition. It'll protect you from doubts, it'll protect you from the whispers of shaitan. And that's another thing, is the madakhil al-shaitan. The entry points of shaitan. I really noticed this amongst people that haven't studied. They're very oblivious. They can't really see that, this is a madkhal of shaitan, or like saddan al-dhari'a, or this prevents any avenue, or prevents any doubts or any fitna to come your way. They're very oblivious to that. And I just feel like ilm is everything. It's like literally, if you're not seeking ilm, you have to find a way to seek ilm. It's gonna it's literally everything. And that's all that's gonna benefit you, is having ilm and implementing it and teaching it. Literally teaching it, and and that's the best way to spend your time, really.
Yeah, for me, these people are inspiration, man. When I see the shuyukh, like all they doing now, they revising al-Bukhari like it's the Qur'an. Like, let's revise chapter. Sit down, the So for me, it's
reps. It's reps. How people go to the gym and they're like, I got 2 plates, 3 plates, 4. It's reps. Let's
and
do
that's what
reps.
allows them then to have this like the Yemeni style. Hey, inshallah, alhamdulillah, nahmad. They give you a whole 5-6 hour dars. Actually, I remember Ty Lopez. He says I had a record for being doing public speaking for 7 hours straight, talking for 7 hours straight. Is my inspiration is getting to be able to do that, but it's all qala Allah wa qala Rasul wa qala Sahaba, and if pure benefit, pure ilm. So obviously these people in their majal, in their what is it, their topic or their niche, they're knowledgeable in their own thing, and that's what they do, and they spit in all type of fawaid from this book, from that book, from this research, from this scientific research, their own opinions. So for me, that's the main inspiration, man. And I think that many times I'm like, I should upload something about Arabic because that's my brand. But I'm like, people, they need to understand that that the Arabic language is for this particular thing. So me personally, I have it's hard sometimes to actually give the, and I realized this when, sorry, I keep doing this. I need to work on this when I'm about to finish a sentence, then I think of something else and I start the other thing. But for me, it's difficult to, I know this is beneficial, but this is my brand, so I'm just going to talk about this. And then I just keep the benefit for myself and my people.
Yeah.
And then when people meet me in real life, it's like they telling me stuff that I'm like, what are you talking about? Like bro, go study. And I had this experience when I was in Australia, because now, people, they watch me for a particular thing, but now it's different when you are given, okay, you have 7 hours in this university, this amount of people, just talk of importance of the Arabic language. I start going into these and that, and this is my experience, story. And I realized through this, I was like, man, this actually, because as I'm doing that, is giving me life.
Yeah.
To the point where I came back and I was like it revived my love for the Arabic language. So that's when I realized, like, even the love for knowledge, the love for the hifz al-Qur'an, the love for, I was like, yo, this is what I wanted. This is what I need to do. Every time I've gotten close to the Qur'an, to seeking knowledge, when I was in Egypt, I've been the happiest. Then, I'm not gonna lie, since I started doing business, I was kind of like on a dolo. But since I came here to Dubai, to United Emirates, I feel like every time we meet with most of the brothers that I meet, it's never like the times when I used to meet with the brothers in Egypt or the brothers in Mauritania. Brothers in Egypt, Mauritania was always about, what are you memorizing?
Yeah, latest book that's out. There's there's this print that's out.
What have you memorized? Who are you learning with now? What is your mutun that you're doing over? Everybody has broken, non-wrinklish thobes. Sand all over these. That I feel like sometimes when I come here to you at the gatherings, I feel like it's about, I got this, I got that. I'm not just trying to throw anybody onto, but I think the environment does this.
But there's actually a shift as well on social media. There's been a major shift. Now, Islam is like, there's a lot of things like, be a successful Muslim, be, look good, which is fine, it's good. But that's fine, but not at the expense of being upon talib al-ilm. Like, seek ilm. If you want to look nice, look nice. You want to make money. But what's happening has been a huge shift. It's like, we all make money, we do business, we all do networking, we come together, and now most of the conversation is money conversation, or just being like powerful, or being, it's not the same type of conversations that we used to have before. Before it's literally like, have you seen that sharh? Check this book, there's a new print out. Literally.
Yo, there's a new dars starting next week.
Yeah. Literally, that's it. And I asked myself this question the other day when I was like, we got Sheikh Khalid Ismail in Dubai. I'm like, I'm in Ajman, it's an hour away, and I'm like, but then if I go there, I'm trying to get up for Fajr, start my day from Fajr, I'm gonna get home late and everything. I was like, I took a step back and I said, hold on, weren't you the same guy that used to travel an hour and a half to go and listen to students of knowledge? Not shuyukh, students of knowledge. You weren't thinking about bedtime. What time? Why now it's like, okay, but these excuses come in, and I said, no, there's got to be a day in the week that I prioritize those lessons. Let me, even if it's an hour, do a quick hour, go sit down, come back. Because you just don't know, akhi. Sometimes just one ayah, sometimes just one hadith, sometimes just one little explanation, it just changes everything for you for the rest of your life. So yeah, I mean, subhanAllah, a lot's changed. SubhanAllah, a lot's changed, and Islam's become a bit of a fashion as well. It's just like, go on social media, go on your umrah, take your little selfies. It's been it's a little cool thing. And it goes back to what we were talking about previously. Is talib al-ilm is, it's just, it's like people don't know where to start, and the environment is just not there. It's just not there. Like, when do you ever heard, like, now, like...
But that's another thing, the shuyukh, they don't have, like, what shit, like for example, right there, we went to Mauritania. I saw this. We went to visit the sheikh. You know, he yurwa anhu. You know, it's reported that he has memorized the 6 books, Kutub Sitta. He has definitely, you know, he has a video on his YouTube. He talks about all the books he has memorized and so on. I went to see him. His whole house is, first of all, the rooftop is metal. There's a door. There's one room. Is his bookstore. Is his classroom. He even has students that at that time it was a student coming from Jazair who was just been living there with him, sleeping there with him. And then I saw a curtain, so I guess there was another room there, or the kitchen or whatever it might be. And he was just laying on the floor, just dhikr. He has students reading. You know, I remember it was Juma, and it was a Friday in the morning, so it was supposed to be the chill day. The students weren't there. But that's his life basically, and he is literally mutafarrigh, and he is free for it, and his cool being poor, like he could just step away and go work or whatever it might be, but he's just teaching the children from the neighborhood, and they give him a little something. Yeah, teach my child to read the Qur'an. Yeah, teach my, and that's what he's doing. He's showing us like big papers written by hand. Yeah, this is my next book, guys. Yeah, check it. You read and then he shows you once is matwa with the leather. You're like, subhanallah, so this is how you do it. And I'm like, in the West, what sheikh is going to give 5 hours of his time to just eat first of all, what sheikh is there aslan? And if there is, he probably came because he wants to, you know, whatever, he wants to seek some rizq or whatever it might be. He's probably not even comfortable being there anymore. I just feel like it's, and the environment hits you as well. I remember in Spain, for example, there was a sheikh, an Iraqi sheikh. He used to teach the people, but then now when I see him, you know, just driving his taxi, and his son is like
day-to-day living.
It's like, and many of us fell into this as well. After you seek knowledge, you come, and that was my realization. Like, I don't want to work in no corporate job or something like that. I gotta start something where I'm involved in knowledge. Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. What just to finish off, what do you think about building a markaz for talib al-ilm?
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
I was thinking in particular even in a country that's abroad, like Africa, there's certain countries where those opportunities are there. What do you think about something like that?
I bought land. I bought 425 square meters in Mauritania for $60,000, and then my situation in Mauritania, I just got tired of it, so I resold it. But I was literally gonna do Andalusi Institute, but physical, because I know physical is not like online. And there's one thing which even the brothers from Madrasa al-Umariya, may Allah bless them for their work, they were saying that they were you know, they seen that they could have done better in tarbiyah. And that's actually the same problem that I have, and I think online everybody has pretty much the same problem, because it's so hard to just sit. You would basically just have to sit for probably 3 hours on live. Just sit there and just teach the students, and it's so hard to like give them the tarbiyah, those little things. Like for example, the other day I was checking Sheikh a video on YouTube, Sheikh Al-Usaymi, and he was just giving a random advice about, there were some students who were getting up. He finished the dars, now he's closing, but the Sheikh is still talking. Like, you getting up, now everybody's feeling like, oh khalas, it's done. The Sheikh is still talking, like, sit down. And he was like, what are you doing? And he started giving advice about the etiquettes of talib al-ilm, and before he closed up, he started crying. And you don't know what goes through the mind of the Sheikh, like how, you know, his times when perhaps he had one of those sweet times when he was studying with the Sheikh, and now he feel. And so I feel like, you know, talib al-ilm is really بالتلقي. You know, on the يعني فوضع يديه على فخذيه, like Jibril alayhi salam did with the Prophet sallam, when he approached him and put his hands on his thighs and asked him, tell me about Islam, tell me about Iman, tell me about Ihsan. And so this has always been my like my feeling about it. And I mean, last year when we bought the house in Senegal, I was telling my mom, should I just make of this a markaz or because there's a house next to it.
Yeah.
And I was imagining, and I actually had this vision when I was in Mauritania, and this is the reason why I bought it. I had the vision that I will memorize the Qur'an, then I will sit for 4 years to teach the Qur'an. So it becomes tathbit for me.
Yeah.
So I've always thought of it, but then I don't know. It was the thing about the country. Do I want to do it in Senegal? Who's gonna travel all the way to Senegal? Because I'm thinking about the people of the West.
Right. You know, there's opportunities here, but I met some Indian brothers. They've opened I met them in Bayt al-Hikmah in Sharjah, in the House of Wisdom. And they've opened up but it's Qur'an. I don't know what permissions they can get for teaching Islamic studies, but it's for Qur'an. They opened it up, and mashallah, I got their contacts, and I was like, maybe we can talk in the future about doing something. But Qur'an is good, don't get me wrong, but Talib al-ilm is just you know.
No, I mean, like, if you can replicate the match, like just bring shuyukh, just teach your funun. You know, you have usul fiqh, you have fiqh, you have madhab, you have tariq, you have shi'r, you have that would be amazing, man.
Yeah, subhanallah.
But again, we have too many politics and amongst ourselves, and you know.
Yeah, it's sad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to continue to seek knowledge and for the people to benefit from that knowledge. And this is one thing that killed me when I was graduating from Qur'an University, and that's why straight as away when you told me that time, look, you can do Arabic Institute online, it wasn't a second thought for me. I said, that's what I'm gonna do, because I was burnt out. I was like, I don't want to be an English teacher.
Yeah.
Like, I'm qualified. I got a master's degree in English language teaching, but I don't want to teach English.
Yeah.
Teaching kids so they
or
even and teaching students so what they can watch some American movies, like what? Like that's not something dear to me. But helping, and I was always passionate about Arabic. I was in the UK, I was telling brothers, you need to get on your Arabic. You need to get on your Arabic from the beginning. So it was like, that's more fulfilling my purpose. But I still have this thing inside of me that I want to teach Islamic knowledge. I want to teach tafsir. I got this thing like I have to teach this stuff, and that's why I was telling you before. I was speaking about the Sheikh. It's like I need to finish my Qawa'id al-Tafsir. We already studied in the Jam'ah, but I want to go deep into it, and then be able to say, okay, we teach the Arabic language, and on top of that, we go through tafsir and make you understand Qur'an in Arabic, and you actually have that level of tadabbur and ta'ammul, and you go through the Qur'an, and you know you're just going deeper. To help students get there or help Muslims get there, for me, that's something, you know, is dear to me. But then even basics, you'll be surprised, Aqidah, you'll be surprised is a hadith that we just think, and it's not hadith, it's ma'roof. It's not ma'roof. The Muslims are not. I remember there was a brother, Abu Makkah, I met him in Mecca, and ironically, Abu Makkah met him in Mecca. But and I remember he said to me, he did like just in Ramadan, he did some like reminders, general reminders, some hadith from Al-Arba'in Nawawiyah. Well, we think, that's just a small book of hadith. And he said there was uncles coming to him after the reminder, say, bro, where's the hadith? First time I ever heard the hadith, and like thanking him and so like appreciative. And he's just thinking, that's just hadith. It's just a small hadith. I don't even think it's anything. So I remember because he encouraged me, because there were those times, there was some brothers that encouraged me, like, give da'wah. I was like, I'm not the guy to give da'wah. Like, that's not me. Like, we've got strong tulab al-ilm. Strong tulab al-ilm. Let them teach. I stay in my lane over here. And he's like, no, you've been gifted with something. You think you're always playing yourself down, because when you sit with mashaykh, you just think, I'm just miskeen. You just think you're miskeen, but but you're still levels above the general Muslim. And if anything, the general Muslim will listen more to you because they can relate to you than maybe an old sheikh. And that's just the reality. When I go back to my neighborhood, there's literally people, they'll reach out to me. I mean, a brother will take my number and he's texting me, like, bro, I've got this problem. He hasn't gone to the imam. He's come to me because he feels I can relate to you. You're from my environment. You're from. So I feel like what we're mentioning today in this podcast, just to wrap it up, is like seeking ilm is good. Memorizing the Qur'an is good. And that's khair fardi. Individually is good. But I really want us to expand to like fard muta'addin, where it's like, okay, you got that now, spread that and teach the people, you know. And that's why doing anything, whether it's a markaz, whether it's even alhamdulillah online, is still a lot of people are benefiting, but just keep that khair going on and on and on and spreading. Because what I got really frustrated with, wallahi akhi, I was in Mecca and I was talking to some brothers, and akhi, there's brothers there that I got ilm, akhi, they don't teach.
Yeah.
I said, what's the point? What's the benefit of you, bro? What's the benefit?
Yeah.
I asked one brother one time, I said to him, yo, let's do some Qur'an, teach me Qur'an. I was saying like, you don't teach. He goes, I teach my family. Akhi, you're hafiz, akhi. You're hafiz. Like, you know, you've got ilm as well. You just say, I'll just teach my wife. And like, no, that's not the, yes, okay, that's cool. That's, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Cool. You've done that now.
Yeah.
You should be on a platform. You should be spreading the ilm to people, you know. خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. The best of you, the ones who learn the Qur'an and then teach it.
Yeah.
Not just, and I felt like we were finding that a lot. I remember, akhi, so because you know Africans, they're just loud and outspoken. I remember I was in the canteen, the Jama'a, and one African brother, he was going crazy. He goes, you study 6 years in the Mahad, then you go do a magister 3-4 years, then you do doctorate, and he's doing the calculations, it come up to like 14 years, and after that, what do? Go back to Africa and don't do anything. Ma minik faida. You don't have any, there's no point. What's the point you coming here? Just what's the point? You like, what are you doing in your life? You spend all this time seeking ilm and you just soak it up and go and sit in your house. That's not what we should be doing as Muslims. You got some, you know, convey what you got of ilm.
No.
Benefit the people, and inshallah the khair will come. And don't
literally pay zakah of your knowledge.
Yeah, literally, that's it. So yeah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, give us ikhlas, and that's the first thing. We didn't even talk about ikhlas akhi today, but yeah, may Allah give us ikhlas and give us beneficial knowledge and allow it to spread. And if we don't do it, akhi, someone else will come that will do it. Someone will take our place anyway. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in no need of us, we're in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yeah, we'll stop there inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.